Imagine facing a wall of 10,000 imperial guards, bristling with spikes and swords. You have no weapon, and the king has ordered your execution. Usually, this is where the story ends. The Prince of Persia doesn't beg for his life. Instead, he challenges the king's sense of fairness, arguing that a prince should only meet an army while mounted on his steed. He requests his horse, knowing the king doesn't realize his mount is actually a heavy mechanical wooden bird parked on the palace roof. The king assumes the prince has simply lost his mind. Amused by the request of a man he considers a lunatic, he humors the whim and sends 6 strong slaves to fetch the solid ebony machine. By appealing to the king's ego, the prince has successfully tricked a hostile monarch into hand-delivering his only means of escape. Once the prince is in the saddle, he turns a screw on the horse's neck. The heavy wood vibrates, the belly of the machine fills with gas, and it launches straight into the air, leaving the army behind. The King of Bengal tries to reclaim control by ordering his archers to fire, but a cloud of arrows is useless against a machine already climbing toward the sun. After a brief return to Persia, the prince flies back to Bengal under the cover of night. He bypasses the guards entirely, landing on the roof to extract the princess from her chamber. The king's investment in 10,000 guards was designed for a ground war. Against a man who can simply fly over his walls, that entire army becomes little more than a set of expensive lawn ornaments. Success makes the prince careless. He leaves the princess alone in the palace gardens to attend to his royal duties, creating a security gap he assumes no one can fill. But the inventor who built the mechanical horse has been released from prison, and he has spent his time nursing a grudge against the prince's family. This timeline compares the prince's schedule against the inventor's lie. The timing perfectly matches his real absence, so she believes him. High in the air, he drops his disguise, shifting to captor, shouting curses as they fly away. Deception is a neutral tool. The same mechanical trickery that saved the prince from an army has now been used by the inventor to steal his bride. The flight ends abruptly in Greece. The inventor and princess land in a field and are immediately discovered by a Greek king who is out hunting with his guard. The inventor tries to lie and claim the princess is his wife, but the Greek king doesn't care for stories. He ignores the inventor's claims, chops off his head, and takes the princess and the horse back to his palace. For an entire year, the prince wanders as a ragged pilgrim. He has no royal status and no mechanical horse, just a staff and a persistent search for any rumor of his bride. In Greece, the princess realizes she cannot outfight the king. Instead, she feigns a mysterious, incurable madness, refusing to leave her bed to avoid the marriage. This creates a stalemate. The Greek king has used force to capture the princess, but her psychological acting prevents him from actually marrying her. While resting under a tree, the prince overhears merchants gossiping about a Greek king who found a magical horse and a beautiful girl who has lost her mind. He realizes the illness is exactly what he would have done in her position, a strategic delay to buy time for a rescue. The prince approaches the palace, but not as a warrior. He exploits the king's desperation by posing as a traveling Persian medicine man who specializes in curing madness. The king has already spent a fortune on doctors and astrologers who failed. Because he is at the end of his options, he allows this ragged stranger into the princess's chamber. The prince has traded his status and his machine for a far more portable weapon, a convincing story, and a well-timed disguise. He tells the king that the princess is possessed by demons, and the only cure is a ritual burning of incense in the courtyard, specifically right next to the mechanical horse. While the servants prepare the ritual, the prince whispers his identity to the princess, ensuring she is ready to move the moment the opportunity arises. As the king and his court watch, the prince throws colored coal onto the fire. Thick, blinding, colored smoke billows out, completely obscuring the entire courtyard and stinging the eyes of the guards. By the time the smoke clears, the prince, the princess, and the ebony horse have vanished. They are already thousands of feet in the air, heading back to Persia. They return home and marry, having finally outlasted the inventor and the kings who tried to separate them. The mechanical horse and the prince's royal birth were useful, but they were also easily stolen. In the end, it was the prince's patience and the princess's own tactical stalling that proved to be